Bentrovati, Lucido Family Festival, sesta edizione, terzo giorno. Tiziana.
Esatto, sempre sul tempo. Sì, siamo qui, siamo felici, è stata una bellissima intervista, quella con Dacia Maraini, punta di diamante di questo festival. Adesso cosa ci sarà?
Cosa ci sarà? Ma ci sarà un nuovo appuntamento. Intanto, prima di lanciarlo, ci scusiamo con chi ci ha seguito perché nell'appuntamento precedente il secondo corto che abbiamo mandato in diretta ha avuto qualche problema tecnico, quindi vi avvertiamo, vi diamo questa anticipazione, li metteremo in una diretta a parte, solo i corti vincitori del Kit International Playwright Series, che quest'anno il titolo di quest'anno è Women in Comedy, una competizione per corti teatrali che, pensate, sono arrivati da tutto il mondo. I vincitori sono solo 3, troverete i 2 che abbiamo mandato nella precedente diretta in un'altra diretta, insieme al terzo che però potrete vedere proprio adesso.
Interpreti di questi corti, il gruppo Batisfera Teatro, nelle persone di Angelo Trofa, Valentina Fadda e Felice Montervino.
Guardiamocelo insieme. Cosa aspettarsi quando aspetti il nostro Signore e Salvatore di Bailey Jordan Garcia.
Che cosa sono?
Sono gioielli, penso. Non le hai detto che hai smesso di fare la drag?
Le si spezzerebbe il cuore.
Per Joy e Marcus, il potere dei cristalli può curare anche il più frantumato di voi se glielo permettete. Possono guidarvi verso un futuro più chiaro e luminoso. Namaste. Ho scritto, venite a cena qualche volta, ho bisogno di una scusa per fare l'arrosto, si è sprecata.
Ah, sii gentile. Non sapevo che tua madre fosse interessata a tutte queste cose spirituali.
Beh, di solito non lo è, però ora è tornata con quell'istruttore di yoga.
Chi? Il tipo col sangue dal naso o 7 figli?
7 figli.
Mi piaceva molto il tipo col sangue dal naso, a parte
il sangue dal naso?
Sì, almeno il nuovo tipo è carino.
Sì, però io mi sento un po' male, per dire la verità, cioè, con tutta lei come una porta girevole con gli uomini, non sai mai, no?
Lei è fantastica, troverà la persona giusta.
Come io ho trovato la mia.
Oddio, come sei sdolcinato, ma sei caruccio, quindi te la passo.
Cazzo, scusa.
Beh, da parte?
Sì, ho detto a David che lo avrei incontrato alle 20 per parlare di una cosa di lavoro.
Ma non avete cenato insieme? Ho fatto qualcosa anche venerdì?
Sì, però, cioè, allora, Teo c'è stato addosso per l'appartamento sulla 7ª, no? Ti ricordi? Adesso i clienti vogliono un angolo per la colazione in cucina. Tutto qui.
Joy, dobbiamo parlare.
Sì, ma se si tratta del tuo lavoro a Washington ne abbiamo già
parlato.
No. Allora, senti, se questa invece è la conversazione sul matrimonio di Betty.
Ascolta, senti, io sento che noi siamo...
È urgente? Perché io devo proprio andare.
Sono incinto.
Cosa?
Incinto. Ieri sera, dopo che ti sei addormentato, stavo giocando al solitario sul mio telefono e ho iniziato a sentirmi confuso. E all'improvviso tutto è diventato bianco. Ricordo di aver pensato, sono in paradiso. Continuavo a chiamare per vedere se c'era qualcuno e non c'era nulla, fino a quando ho sentito una voce e fluttuando verso di me è arrivato questo bellissimo angelo, bellissimo. E ho chiesto, oh angelo che sei lassù, sono morto? Ma lui ha sorriso dolcemente e ha detto che stavo solo dormendo ed era per questo che Dio poteva raggiungermi. Cioè, io gli avrei anche detto che ero agnostico, ma lui aveva una buona novella da portare e non volevo essere io a rompergli le uova nel paniere. quindi ho semplicemente annuito, perché non volevo essere scortese. Poi ha fatto tutto un discorso sulla Vergine Maria e come ora è il mio dovere portare in me il Figlio di Dio e che sarà il prossimo Gesù. Immagino che il suo nome sarà diverso, tipo Zeus o qualcosa del genere. Tutto ciò è incredibile, lusinghiero, non fraintendermi, ma ho dovuto sollevare il minimo problema di essere biologicamente maschio. Ma lui ha sottolineato che se Dio può creare gli oceani, i Kardashian e tutto ciò che vuole nel mondo, perché non può creare un uomo incinto? E poi ha detto che Dio voleva un uomo gay perché siamo di moda. Ora, tra te e me, mi sa che Dio è un tantino omofobo perché la nostra sessualità non fa parte di una moda o di un periodo ed questo è un modo nascosto di essere omofobi di cui non si parla davvero perché ci sono ancora problemi più importanti da affrontare per primi, ma fa molto male alla comunità gay nel suo insieme. Comunque, l'angelo mi ha poi baciato sulla testa ed è svanito con un grande sbuffo e nemmeno un secondo dopo ho sentito un calcio. Senti? Cosa? Sono il prossimo profeta. Cioè, no, non un profeta. Il prossimo mezzo marito del Figlio di Dio. Siamo ebrei. Anche Gesù.
Stai scherzando, vero? Cioè... Stai scherzando, vero? No, per un attimo ho pensato che fosse impazzito, amore mio. No.
Ho una vita dentro di me.
Sei serio? Cazzo, potresti essere serio. Cazzo.
Chi stai chiamando?
No, sto solo cercando, cioè, voglio far sapere alla dottoressa Walsh...
Ho preso le mie medicine.
No, Marcus, tu dici sempre così, ma nessuna persona sa di mente si prepara.
Allora mi stai chiamando pazzo?
No, non sto dicendo che sei pazzo, però perché non rispondi?
No.
Non è quello che sto dicendo, che dovresti prendere le tue medicine.
Mi sento benissimo, veramente. Se sto prendendo le mie medicine e sono con te e il bambino, sto benissimo. Non ho problemi emotivi. È solo felicità. Questa ora è felicità. E siamo pronti per diventare i meravigliosi genitori del piccolo Zeus, Plotnik Granfil.
Ho bisogno di bene.
Rimani a casa?
Beh, no, non se ne parla proprio, mica ti lascio solo così in questo stato.
Ma sto bene, davvero, Joy. Ma se vuoi restare a casa, nessuno te lo impedisce. Ha dato un calcio.
Il feto di Gesù?
L'ho fatto. L'ho appena sentito. Proprio a sinistra del mio stomaco. Come un calcio di karate. E se fosse super forte? Gesù è super forte. Potrebbe essere.
Sì, potrebbe essere, sì.
Beh, ora sei solo cattivo, eh? Vabbè. È finito il vino?
E non sei incinto?
Ma è Gesù. Gli piace il vino. Sono abbastanza sicuro che sia così. Fai.
Falla diventare vino?
Non è cosa.
Marcus, senti, allora. Possiamo essere adulti, eh? Ho un'idea, se tu prendi le tue... Marcus! Ma porco Gesù Cristo, io dico Marcus!
No, per favore, non nominare il nome del nostro bambino in vano!
Non si può neanche godere un Cristo di drink in pace.
Trovata! Ecco.
Una Bibbia?
Potrebbe offrire un po' di aiuto per...
Senti, allora, quel libro lì l'abbiamo comprato, la Bibbia l'abbiamo comprato per le foto di Gesù che assomiglia a Russell Brand, non per prenderla sul serio.
Non la prendo sul serio, è come un gioco, come il gioco che si fa per la baby shower. Oh, idea! Fammi una domanda.
Senti, ascoltami amore, possiamo parlare
Dopo aver giocato, fammi una domanda.
Perché ti comporti così?
No, devi riguardare Gesù. Chiudiamo gli occhi e lasciamo che lo Spirito Santo ci guidi a scegliere un passo della Bibbia.
Ah, sì, gli occhi, scusa, sì.
Domanda?
Perché sei incinto?
Ottima domanda.
Ecco.
Ecco. Ora, queste sono le regole che darai loro. Quando compri uno schiavo ebreo... No, lasciamo perdere. Non è stata una grande idea.
No, mi stai davvero spaventando. Cioè, per favore, dimmi solo che è uno scherzo per il mio bene, no? Io sto più tranquillo.
Sto bene. Non mi credi?
No, non stai bene. Tu non stai bene. Io adesso chiamo la dottoressa Welch.
Non sono pazzo, Joy. Non sono... È solo un miracolo. Dio ha creato un miracolo.
Sì, e quanti altri miracoli vedi nel mondo?
Mosè che separa il Mar Rosso. Gione la balena.
Ma non sono storie. Fatti, voglio fatti, prove, cose reali, concrete.
Cani a 3 zampe, baffi a manubrio, i vincitori della lotteria Hamilton.
No, questo no, davvero. Avanti.
Allora, i cristalli.
Non sono...
Giusto? Voglio dire che forse se credessimo semplicemente...
Non sono cose vere, Marcus. Quella è mia madre, è pazza.
Perché non puoi essere fedele per una volta nella tua dannata vita?
Cosa? Di che cosa stai parlando? Cosa c'entra la fedeltà?
Mi ami?
Ti amo? Ah, è questo? Ti amo. Sì, Marcus, io ti amo. Non mi sarei mica messo per 4 anni a occuparmi di tutta questa merda che tiri se io non ti amassi. Quindi sì, ti amo. Con tutto il mio cuore. Adesso vado da David e basta, però. Basta, qualunque cosa sia.
Non indossi la croce?
Senti, di che cosa stai parlando? No, io non ho che cosa vuol dire la croce? Croce di che?
L'ho trovato sul mio comodino 3 minuti fa. Immagino che l'abbia lasciato lì.
Ho deciso di provare qualcosa di nuovo.
Lo so. Per favore. Non voglio che la religione influenzi il bambino.
Bentrovati al Lucido Family Festival 2020 Donne Galattiche e infatti adesso ci sarà la nostra Donatella Codonesu che è direttrice artistica del Festival On Stage Festival di Roma, che per noi è una donna galattica. Chi incontrerà?
Incontrerà un'altra donna galattica protagonista dello spettacolo di oggi, Aiza Fatima.
Dirty Paki Lingerie, sulla vita delle giovani musulmane negli Stati Uniti.
Intanto ci guardiamo l'intervista di Donatella con Aiza in questa diretta, ma restate con noi perché alle 21 in una nuova diretta parte lo spettacolo e vi ricordo tutti gli spettacoli del Lucido Family Festival si possono vedere una sola volta come a teatro, quindi chi tardi arriva male alloggia.
Aiza Fatima, a playwright and actress in Dirty Paki Lingerie. Good evening, Aiza.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
We're very, very proud to have you here. Talking about Dirty Paki Lingerie, is a piece about values and culture and religion in collision. And it's about the difficulties in trying and integrating all these together. You are an American Pakistan Muslim woman. You live in New York. You were born there. And my first question is to present your work. Is your experience truly similar, your personal experience, to what you show on stage?
I know. So sometimes I wish my life was as exciting as my characters. So I feel like my life is very boring and very simple, but the characters are way more interesting to me. But yeah, I think there is always this kind of a balance that we have to strike. You know, when your parents come from some other place and now you're in a new place, I think for every generation of kind of immigrants and children of immigrants, there's always this kind of a struggle between, you know, what parts of your culture do you keep with you from your parents' heritage, and what parts of the new culture of the place where you're living now do you assimilate. So yeah, that's definitely, I think everyone, not just people who come here from Pakistan, but I think everyone, even, you know, when first there was the you know, Irish Catholics came from Ireland to America, or the Italians who came to Italian Americans, you know, it's, I think for every culture, there's always that struggle. Yeah. So, you know, in terms of, yeah, sure. So some of that stuff, of course, I feel as well, as a multi-hyphenate. So, you know, being a Pakistani American Muslim woman, definitely. And I think at the end of the day, also a lot of the sort of the struggles in the play to me are just women's struggles all over the world, not necessarily just a particular ethnic background or religious background. I think women all over kind of deal with all of these things, the issues that the play brings up.
Talking about religion and culture, they merge in every culture probably, but when they merge in your play, the first one seems to limit somehow the second one. Do you think this is, no matter which religion we're talking about, do you think this is something unavoidable, or they can be put together happily somehow?
I don't know if they can be put together happily, but I think it's definitely really interesting, because even just within, if we're just going to talk about just Islam, you know, the Islam for Saudis versus the Islam for Pakistanis versus the Islam in Malaysia, it looks very different. And it's always kind of colored by the culture you're in, you know. And I wonder, I mean, I wonder how you feel being from Italy, how you feel about Catholicism. How does the Catholic culture, how the people's culture kind of, you know, paint the way they practice their religion, you know. I think for every religion, the culture kind of impacts the two, you know. And then can they live happily? It's a tough question. I don't know. I think sometimes yes. And I think we have to make our own decisions. And you know, it's really interesting. I talk about this often with friends, that we kind of draw our own lines. We're just like, okay, well, I'm not going to eat pork, but I'm going to drink, you know, even though both things are equally not allowed in Islam, let's just say, or other things like that, right? Yeah, so I think we all kind of draw our own lines, you know, and nothing is ever perfect. But I think as people, if you want to follow a religion, then I think we have to find peace within ourselves, right? We just have to be okay with, okay, I'm going to take these parts of the religion and I'm going to take these parts of the culture, and I'm going to learn to live happily, you know, for myself with these things that I'm choosing to participate in. Yeah, and I think it's never an easy thing, and I think it takes a while, but I hope that people can get there. I feel like, for me, I feel like I've kind of found a place that I'm happy with, because I do feel deeply grounded in the religion in a lot of ways. It's actually Ramadan right now in the world, so people are fasting and praying, and it's a very holy month. And so, you know, I think there are parts of the religion that I find very grounding, and just very peaceful in its own way that I like to follow, for example. And then there are other parts I don't follow as much. So yeah, I think you just have to find the thing that resonates with you the best.
Your own balance.
Yeah, I think so. How do you feel about that, right? Don't we all do that in some way?
Yeah, I suppose it's a very personal point, and it's important to find your own balance.
Yeah, because, you know, I sometimes look at the older generation, my parents' generation, and I look at the way they do things when it comes to religion, cultural, and I think that's crazy sometimes, you know? So obviously that's not for me, but I think for me, I have to find my own way into it, you know, which might be different from our parents' way.
Of course, yes, of course. It should be personal religion rather than politics.
Yes, but then it becomes the political, right? Oftentimes it becomes, I mean, in America, you know, it's the whole Republican agenda is using the Bible and the religion to cause divide. And, you know, it's terrible in a lot of ways, especially around election season. Especially it happens every year around election season. So, yeah.
Sad. Talking about the future, your personal future, this show has been running for a few years now, successfully everywhere in the world. Are you thinking about your next one, or at least on which subject you will working on?
Yeah, so I am thinking about the next one. Actually, it's been really interesting these past 2 months, just being at home, not having the, you know, in New York City, we're so go everywhere, run from one place, next project. So I write, but I also act, and it's all income. It's like, you know, commercials and TV and stage. And so I'm often acting in other people's work, and it's very busy. Or even if I'm not acting, I'm auditioning, and that's very busy too. So these last 2 months have been really nice to kind of just, because I have nothing to do. So I have a lot of time to just sit and think and plan. I've been working on this play for years that I looked at the script recently, and I hadn't looked at it in like, you know, 2.5, 3 years. So it's based on sort of my own personal experiences of working at Google and women in technology. That's something I really I've just on and off worked on it for so long. I'd really like to get it out into the world. So in the play world, that's kind of what I'm submitting it to several places like labs, and just trying to develop it further to see if I can actually launch it. Maybe not this year. I don't know if anything's launching this year, but maybe by next year. But other than that, I'm really interested in a lot of stories around women. I think stories around, you know, older women sometimes aren't told. I'm really kind of interested in exploring a lot of that. So yeah. So I have a few other projects I'm working on, but not theater related, more just TV scripts, because it's something I'm also interested in writing. Yeah, so I'm excited. I think this year is going to be a big planning, writing year, and hopefully next year would be the launch year.
Okay, so we wait for you in Italy next year with brand new things.
I hope so.
Okay. Now let's move to Q&A from your audience.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is about the characters that you are performing in your play. There are 6 different women of different ages and cultural background, probably. How do you feel switching from one to the other all along your 1 hour and so show?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. So I've been doing this show for a long time, and it was actually kind of the first big show I did very early on in my career when I was just starting out. And And I realize looking back at it now, it's a very difficult thing to do, like switch from one to the next to the next. But because I started off this way, always like doing all these, so many different characters and using voice and body to change between each character, it's just become such a second nature, easy thing for me. I mean, I love it. So for me, it's, you know, the joy of performing this play for so many years has been because it's based on real people and real women. It's, for me, it's always like, okay, let me show you what this great next person is like, you know? I just kind of try to channel those people who it's based off of. And it's such a honor in a way to be able to present these women's stories to such diverse audiences all the time, that it's just, it used to be a bit challenging, but now I just like think of it as this really fun gift I give to people, you know, introducing them to these great women and these great characters. Yeah.
Okay, and talking about funny, talking about fun, your show is funny, is very ironic, and but the subject, the issue you're dealing with is a challenging one, as we said before. So do you think that choosing this light register, having people laughing during the show, makes it easier to speak about some kind of difficult matters?
I absolutely agree with that statement, because I think sometimes, like, you know, we have a lot of people, like scholars will talk about religion, religious people will talk about religion. And I think in my experience, oftentimes I kind of just tune that kind of speech out, because oftentimes it becomes too preachy, like people preaching at you and telling you what to do, you know? And I think in order to kind of reach the masses, it's always the humor that kind of brings really important things to the surface. And part of it is because you're laughing at something. It lets you, as an audience member, you let your guard down, right? You're just laughing. You're having a good little time. And then sort of this back way into it, you end up learning something about a different culture, a different person, a subject matter that might be really difficult that you wouldn't want to approach otherwise. So I think when done well, humor can be a really great tool for actually partnering up with, you know, social justice causes and kind of bringing those to the light for a larger audience that may not be as open to hearing that information, but through humor, you can reach them.
Okay. And still talking about characters, there's an old woman, a mother, and she's very, very pressing, she's acting in a very peculiar way.
She's my very favorite.
What are you feeling towards these funny but a bit weird somehow characters? Which are your personal feelings towards her?
Yeah, I mean, I think that character is really interesting. Like, while it's not like my mom or anything per se, but it's a very like a hyper version of my mom, you know, maybe. So, I mean, I know people like that. Yeah, it's just, but I think at the heart of that character, that woman, the mom, older mom who's like very pushy, I think at the heart of it is she really loves her family and she really cares for her daughter and she wants the best for her. And in her world, you know, this is the only way she knows how to show it. So, right, it's about just as individuals, like our own experiences. You know, you might look at somebody, you might be like, oh, this person is so strange. Why do they behave this way? You know, but then if you kind of look deeper, you'll realize, like, sometimes when it comes to family members, but your parents, your aunts, uncles, whoever, the motivation is never anything bad. You know, they're motivated through love. They may not have the tools to really communicate and show it that well. So they do it in these weird sort of ways, how you see this mom doing it. And, you know, and it's kind of one of the most, for me, some of the most touching moments for me with that mom is at the end, you know, when she's on the phone with the son and she almost has this breakdown and she can't even get the words out because she cares so deeply about what's happening with her daughter, you know, that she really wants to help, but she doesn't know how. And so in this, like, she makes these decisions just based on this, like, you know, complete anxiety, right? First she's calling all these people, and then she's calling the son, and then she finally calls that woman she called at the beginning.
Too much. They still need to.
Oh, we don't want to say too much. Okay. Yeah. So it's just, you know, I think it's just, it's an interesting kind of arc, you know. And I think if you kind of look deeply through and like look through all of this humor, you'll find a common ground that maybe you know this person, you know. It's someone in your life that you relate to. In fact, I think that's one of my favorite things is like performing this play for so many diverse audiences, is that oftentimes like people afterwards are like, you know, people, like I've had men tell me that they see themselves or their father in that mom character. Actually, I've had so many people from so many different cultures tell me that. I remember I was in Scotland, and this woman came up to me afterwards. She's like, "That mom really reminds me of my father." I just thought it was really funny because she's very specific. Yeah, but still, I think you know, when you kind of create characters with specificity, there is a universal element in them. You know that
the human element. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
About your profession, do you prefer being a playwright or interpreting your shows, your plays?
Yeah, it's a good question. You know, I mean, I just I started off acting, and that was always the goal. But very quickly, I kind of realized this is like 10 years ago. There just weren't any roles really for someone like me, right? It was not. Now there's all this big push for diversity and blind casting, and some of that is happening in our industry, even in theater. But 10 years ago, that wasn't even happening. And so it was kind of writing became a necessity. I was like, oh, well, nobody's writing roles for someone who looks like me, so maybe I should write roles. I should write this play for myself, you know, and see how it goes. So it kind of started off that way, and it's changed over the years for me. I've now just realized that I really believe this. I think each one of us has a very interesting story to tell, you know, and so if we're not sharing it with the world, it's almost doing the world a disservice. Because and we're we're individuals, and we're very unique, and there's a story that only I can tell that you can't tell, and there's a story only you can tell that I could never tell, you know. So I think it's important for me to write, but of course acting and performance is always my first love, the reason I do all of this creative work. First time we start to it, so I mean that's something I'm always going to be doing. But yeah. At the same time, I do really enjoy writing and creating characters, and you know, showing. The best part is when somebody recognizes their experience in a character that I've created, and they maybe a Muslim woman who's 65, but the person who relates to it might be like, you know, Jamaican and 22, you know. So I think that's always the most rewarding, is when people kind of the characters speak for themselves,
to activate a live connections with your audience.
Yeah, live connections, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Isa, for being with us tonight. We leave the audience to Dirty Pack Lingerie, finally. Thank you so much, and we'll be looking forward to having you in person live in Italy again soon.
Me too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.